Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Grad School Buddy, a show that gives simple answers to questions about grad school. I'm your host, Ebelechukwu, a development economist and impact storyteller who has a master's from Georgetown University and a bachelor's from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. We hope the show helps you make better grad school decisions. Let's dive right in. Hello everybody. Today we're recording with two people, Nwadiaso and Mobi. I actually hijacked them and convinced them that they wanted to be here. So here we are. So unlike season 1, I wanted this season to be a little bit more conversational. And so I will not be reading their bios and I'll let them introduce themselves to us. So guys, it's just like if you were meeting me at your favorite coffee place and you liked my dreads and you wanted to talk to me.
Okay, Mobi is more professional. Mobi, start.
Hi, my name is Mobi Nwafor-Orizu. I'm a lawyer and I've just moved to the UK. I've been here for about 2 years and I'm studying international economics law, and that's what I'm about at the moment.
It's nice to meet you, Mobi. And it's really, I think that your course is very interesting, like mixing economics and law. I think those are two very complicated courses as well. And I think I have 1 million questions to ask you. Didi, are you ready?
Hi, I'm Didi. I did my undergraduate in law and I'm currently studying psychology for my master. Well, I finished my psychology degree in January and I just got offered a job. So I'm moving and I'm anxiety filled, but happy to start in September. So yeah. Oh, also, I've been admiring myself because I'm truly too cute.
I can attest to that. Both of them have been admiring themselves, and Mobi has been flinging her wig around the meeting arena. So
You blame me.
Okay. So first of all, I just want to say that I think the both of you are the first people that I have on the podcast that's schooled in the UK. So if you guys mind, can you guys give us a little bit background info about, before you got to this place where, Didi has a job that she loves and Mobi is a lawyer who has a concentration in economics and law. Can you tell us about, your application process?
Okay, I'm gonna start on this one. Well, the journey started in Nigeria. So getting here and actually studying international economics law, you experience different things. But before I get to my studies, is the culture shock when I got to the UK. You understand, so many things were different. You didn't realize how much you miss Nigeria really until you get here. For example, let's see, the way you speak to people can be very, very nice. I'm trying to remember the major culture shocks that I had when I got here. Did it help me a little bit? Because I know we've had this conversation.
Are you talking about the culture shock of moving from Nigeria, where it's a more, UK is very individualistic, where Nigeria is, there's another word for it, but more communal. When you come here, I don't know my neighbors. Exactly. I've been here for a long time, a while, and I don't know anybody. I think I met my neighbors twice and it was on the staircase.
I don't know my neighbors.
That's a culture shock. And then another culture shock is that people like to go hiking here. Who has time for that?
I love hiking.
I actually really love hiking.
Thirdly,
me too.
Why do they like to drink coffee? Oh my goodness, everything is coffee dates or alcohol.
Date. Oh.
Yes. Every single time, let's go drinking. People, let's go and eat food.
But why do one when you can do both?
I trust you.
Anyways, and we moved to the UK during the pandemic, so it was really, really tough on us. And for me, that I'm more of a people person to an extent, it was very difficult for me. I think I was almost depressed. It was literally Didi that was speaking to. Didi was encouraging me for real, go and meet people. Do you have friends? So when I tell her that, I'm in a group of friends, she's more excited than I am because she knows literally how I am and how tough, it can be, like being alone and stuff like that. So yeah.
No, because it was funny for me, because I don't particularly care much about hanging out with people, or like, so, but I actually met people and Mobi didn't, mostly because I joined Bumble BFF. Also, Bumble should pay you just for me mentioning Bumble
right?
BFF. Yeah. So, but when Mobi started talking to people, it was better for her, much better for her.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes,
could stay indoors for 3 months. I did stay indoors for 3 months without doing anything, talking to anybody. It didn't even seem like anything was happening, like nothing. I didn't miss anything. So, yay.
Okay. So I have a question for you. So my question for you guys now is about, number one, Mobi, you talked about the fact that one thing you noticed, like one of the cultural shocks, was how much you missed Nigerians or missing Nigerians. So what was it about Nigerians that you missed? No?
That sense of communal. Okay, I'll give you an example. I lived in my former apartment, because I just literally moved to a new apartment. My former apartment, I lived there for about 18 months. And I can tell you that literally my next door neighbor, I spoke to him not more than 5 times. And this is someone that's literally, that we share kitchen, we share bathroom, toilets, and living literally like one step from me, So, and then I'm not used to that. And growing up in an extended family where like I was living with my aunties, all my cousins, you understand? It was more of like a friendship, a family, you get. So being very, very used to that, coming here, it's almost, I don't know. I think you start to have this imposter syndrome as well. But if you don't really know your own, I know my own. That's why I didn't suffer that. But if you don't really know your own, you can get depressed, you start to think maybe it's you. But actually experiencing the culture, you see that this is actually how it is. Like these people, all they know is go in the morning, wake up, make coffee, go to work, come back, and then enter their room, continue work, or maybe for guys, maybe play games, or literally, I don't know.
Mobi, what's your beef with coffee?
Because I don't take it. I cannot understand how people take coffee. It's too bitter for me. I don't know. But
you have to put so much milk and sugar.
I have to and it has latte. I can take latte, but it needs to be very milky. You understand? Less coffee and more milk. Yeah, so that was basically it. I know one interesting thing that happened. One of my flatmates, he's from Brazil. So in Brazil, they have this kind of culture, this communal culture.
Collectivist. Collectivist culture.
Yeah. So he was trying to explain to me like the way it is in Brazil, like they don't chase money. What they chase is happiness. But when you come to London, like they chase money, so it's as if you don't see people, you just see work.
Yeah.
That's how it is. You just see the task that is at hand. You don't see that and all that. Yeah. So we agreed very much. We spoke about it a lot, and yeah, that was how it was. That guy, he was very nice. He cooked, and that's the difference between like living with people who grow up here and are in this culture. Because for us, the guy used to cook for me. He would literally make coffee, not coffee, make tea for me in the morning, cook anything he cooks, he gives me. We'll go out together sometimes. And yeah, it was kind of like that, and it was nice having him at the point, but he didn't stay very long before.
Okay, I can actually relate very much to that. Even though, unlike you, I think I thrive in isolation. So it's like if I don't see people, but I feel people around, it's okay for me. So if I know that somebody's living upstairs and somebody's living downstairs and I hear their furniture move, it's okay. Okay, but thank you so much for sharing that. I have a question for you, Didi, and then it also kind of links back to you also, Mobi. But my question is, you said you joined Bumble BFF, and so many people have told me about that. So what were your experiences? Like, did you freak out about meeting people who were not exactly what their profile said they were? And I know you said that you met more people than Mobi, but eventually Mobi started meeting people. So I was also curious about, for a first timer coming to the UK who's really interested in building a community, making friends, how did you, Mobi, kind of navigate that without having Bumble BFF? And as for you, Didi, how was your Bumble BFF experience?
Okay, when I joined Bumble BFF, I asked for a specific thing, to have a specific type of friends. And I talked to a bunch of people who, because it's a new place, their interest, like the type of when you start talking to people and you're like, oh, what do you want to do? What do you like? What have you watched? Because we grew up in different places, they have watched it, like some of the things I'm like, this is not even funny, or I've never even heard of this, or what? Mm-hmm. But then, because you have to try and adapt to where you are, not obviously not like, not erase your own culture or whatever, but like, just be a part of the environment that you are, like, so I met a bunch of people. Some of us, we didn't go far. It was just like after that one coffee date, it was like, that's it. But then I met 2 people who I became really good friends with, well, as much as we can, and I still talk to them today, which is really good. And it's funny because now I'm moving to a different place. I have also downloaded Bumble BFF again, because I want to also meet new people where I'm going. And I'm actually talking to someone now. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere, if we're actually ever going to meet, but it's just nice knowing that this person lives there and they also want to be friends. Yeah. Mobi, you go now.
Yes. So, Ebele, if you see the kind of
it's okay to speak Igbo. Be in your elements.
If you see my experience, Didi, what was the name of that app that I downloaded?
It was Bumble, but you did the dating side.
Ebele, let me give you the story, because it was, I don't know, for me, or like, I'm not very used to
Mobi experienced trauma.
As in the guy scared me immediately. You don't understand. After
Mobi was so traumatized. I'm like, okay, yeah, Mobi, how about you? She's like, Kankorogi.
Kankorogi, because as in I deleted the app immediately. Because it was my cousin that encouraged me to download it, that I can meet people, friends, blah 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 blah. And yeah, and I was excited. That day that I downloaded it, because you swipe right if you like. So this guy, we swiped right together, I'll be left together. So the first message he sent to me, I don't even know if I can say it.
You can say it.
Wait, let me remember. Was it is it wait, he was like, I feel like my mouth, I cannot even say it. I'm so sorry.
Please help Mobi say it.
Because I'm a prude. Big up on them.
What did he say? What did
he say? Too sensitive.
No, what did he say? I can't remember.
He said, he was like, number one, he was like, hold on.
She had to forget it. She said, "This is
typing it. You can type it and I'll say it." Weak.
I'm weak, bro. Ebele, that's one thing you should know about me. I'm a prude.
It's okay.
I didn't know this about myself.
That's why you have. I mean, Didi is even a prude in my eye. So now
I am Didi?
Not. No, she's not.
I said that's why I said in my eye. I wonder what this person told Mobi.
It's not that serious. That's why I said it's really
not
not
deep. It's not deep. It's just because Mobi does not say something.
Either he said this or he said. I swear.
Oh yeah. Okay. So ew.
I'm telling you. Immediate, like as in I was.
Did he send it?
No.
On Bumble, you can't send it. I don't think. No, let me check. Because you can't send. Oh, you can actually.
But people are very weird.
You can't take a live picture on Bumble.
How is this the first message you sent to somebody though?
Do you know? I think I still have that screenshot.
And then it scared Mobi so much that she just deleted it.
Did you respond to him?
Rubbish.
No, I didn't. I literally immediately I saw it. I said, phone.
So now, after you met that guy who scarred you forever, and who has probably ruined Tinder, Bumble, and all the other OkCupid and others forever. She's mounting for life, guys. So how did you then meet the people, like your friends, like the people who eventually were a little bit reasonable, kind of the people that you vibed with? How did you meet those people outside the app?
Right. So because I'm a social person, I'm able to make, if I want you as a friend, I know how to do that. Do you understand? So with that talent, like even in school, because I say with that talent, right? I'm telling you, it's a talent. So don't play with me. So like in class, like one or two people that I felt like I admired. Do you understand? I would like them in my corner. I just had conversations with them, and then the next thing, and Ima, literally most of these international students, yeah, they're down to have fun, especially those ones on that know that they might leave immediately, like maybe on scholarship, like this chef scholarship. Yeah, they just want to enjoy UK life as quickly as possible, make the most memories. So lucky enough, those are the kind of people that I saw. Now, yeah, it started like this. One friend, and I know how to befriend your friend. Like if I meet you now and you introduce me to this person in a party, and the person gives me her number, or do you get, I will have conversations with that person and we'll become friends. Yeah. You will not even know. You just be surprised that we're friends. Then the next thing, that person's friend will be my friend. Yeah, I'm very good at that. I know
Didi,
it can
where
be
were we
annoying.
when people were getting these talents?
Because me, I won't even talk to you or visit your friend. I don't think my friends would say that I'm not a social person. Evele, let's focus. Not not you. Like I'm telling you, like, okay, maybe from people from uni. I would say people from my uni. Like if I were to ask Lou, for example, Oluchi, she would, like, I don't think she would say, oh, Didi is not someone that is social. She might say Didi is someone that she thinks is social, but because I would actually walk up to someone that I would want to be my friend and talk to them. And I like to keep in contact with my friends. I like to, even though like it, I just like to, right? But I don't think in my mind, I'm not like anyways, let's just keep going.
I like how you knew that was not going anywhere. I was waiting for it to land. Okay, so now my next question for you guys is about like the hassle that is school, because I know that there's this very wrong opinion that Nigerians have where we think that because we have really gone through it in university, or more like if we go abroad, we will thrive. But I think a lot of people go abroad and they experience like the education system and they experience tests, and it's kind of like a different experience. So can you like tell us about your struggles within school? Like what was your greatest struggle? How did you overcome that? Whether it was like in terms of academics or understanding the material or anything. What was it?
I think what I would say is that I think a lot of Nigerians have this mentality that because a lot of people come here and they get first class or distinction or even like a high 2-1, like commendation for your masters, the school system is easy. But I think it's just because you have all the resources. When I was doing my thesis, and there was a paper I wanted to open that wasn't like it was not available in my library. I requested for it and the school paid for it. No such thing exists in Nigeria. Who, which librarian are you even talking to? Do you understand? So it makes it difficult for people to even get enough resources to be very good at what they want to do, enough to even pass, and except from exceptional students, people that actually, are just smart or are making all of that effort. But even with minimal effort here, and you have all the resources and you want to really, really read and study and all of that you can actually get good grades. But that's because you have this, like they actually care about your mental health, if you can get extension and all of that. Now I cannot remember your question anymore, and I think I'm deviating.
I don't think that you weren't deviating, but as soon as she said, I don't remember your question, I also forgot my question.
Okay.
No, but so I think my question was about how you cope to school and what you struggled most with. And if the perception of coming to school abroad, like schooling abroad is easier. So you answered like one of the questions, but you didn't answer about like what you struggled most with and what your experience was.
I can't remember what I struggled most with, because like whenever I felt that I was about to struggle with something, I always talk about my issues with Mobi mostly. So like I always talk it through. Support system is always good. So I have that. So I can't actually remember what I struggled most with. I think one thing I would say I struggled most with was having in mind that my school fees was very, very expensive. And so that was also a moving factor to do well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? But it wasn't like, thankfully, it wasn't like this. No parental figure was putting this pressure on me that because your school was expensive, you have to do so well. No, it wasn't like that. It was just like, for me, this is something somebody sacrificed to pay. And then you have to also have that in mind and do your best. Other than that, okay, another thing is, this is so stressful. Just studying in general is very stressful. So I always had to remember to do the work. Mm-hmm. That was it. That was mostly it. But for Mobi, what did you struggle with?
Thank you, Didi. Thank you. You were telling us about what you were struggling with, and you were holding your head like.
Because I was trying to remember.
You know, I think it's funny, yeah, because as Didi was speaking, me too, I was trying to remember the things that I struggled most with. And then I feel like it's so funny that it is actually like this, because I remember last year clearly, I was not myself. I was struggling, but now, because like this reward, yeah, is so big, you almost forget like the anxiety, like all those things that you that you were feeling. But I would say, if I recall correctly, like, you know, sometimes all those times when I would really just want to watch a movie like badly, and then I know that there is assessment waiting for me, you know. So those were the kind of things I struggled with. Do you understand? Or like keeping up with deadlines, I struggled with it. And then I also wanted to say, yeah, this like brings in that culture shock factor as well, because the ordinary things, yeah, that we expected, you know, based on where we're coming from. Do you understand? We're not the things we struggled with. Do you understand? What we struggled with came from us. Do you get that pressure and all of that? But as per the system helped us a lot. And I don't know if I made that point clearly, but yeah.
I remember, you know, when Mobi is under stress, like Mobi is under a lot of stress. Like it's not like she can't deal with her stress, but it's like she feels it very, very deeply, because she has this, like, whatever Mobi does, she wants to do it very, 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 very well. Like, she got a distinction. Do you understand? So like when she was doing her thesis, she wasn't talking to anybody. Literally, she just focused on her thesis. She lived in the library. Mobi lived in the library. She would switch off her phone for like 12 hours straight. And it wasn't like she was just, you know, when people switch off their phones and then they actually don't do the work. She was literally doing the work. And that was Mobi's, that's something that Mobi had a lot of pressure on her. And that pressure, she just put it on herself.
Do you know that I love that this is I'm interviewing the both of you together, because I think that sometimes you each downplay the things that you do or your strength, and then the other person is like, it's not true. The other time, Mobi was saying that, which is very nice. So please, more of that. I have like one last school-related question, and then we will change gears entirely to like life after school, finding a job, finding houses, which I know both of you have really, really struggled a lot with. So now, for you, Didi, the question is, you told us in your intro that you moved from law to psychology. So what was that like? What was it in terms of, because obviously, even the things that you were reading changed, your reading materials changed, the people who were your clients, in quotes, changed. So how was that for you? Yeah. If somebody wants to change after their undergrad and they're thinking it's too late, I don't really mess up, what would you tell them?
Interesting. Like, I know it's an obvious thing to say, but legit do it. I was 25. Like, because I already calculated how old I would be when I was done, especially since I also want to do my doctorate, because I want to have proper all the accreditations. So that's why I want to do my doctorate. But I would say do it, because I would be if I do my doctorate next year, I would be 31 when I finish. So either ways, at 31, I will still be 31. So you might as well be 31 and doing what you want. I know people say a lot, but it's true. Than not be 31 and than be 31 and not doing what you want. So you might as well just do it. Okay, for the other question that you asked, I wasn't a big fan of law. I didn't practice for a single day. So for me, it wasn't like a big emotional change. It was more like, finally, I'm doing something I'm really interested in, which is psychology, because it's something that I've been just genuinely really interested in, and then learning a lot about psychology, and not just from watching random TikTok people say very strange things that is not true. By the way, stop listening to those random people that do not study psychology or anything. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So doing psychology now and working with clients now, not as a certified person, just counseling just to get more experience has been really, really good, and I'm enjoying it so far. So yeah, definitely do it for sure.
I'm really happy to hear that it's been a very fulfilling journey for you, because it's never easy to start afresh. So, three boozers. Okay, now my question for you, Mobi. I know that you went from, studying law as a major to studying, law and economics. So how has that extra introduction of economics, how has it kind of changed the dynamics of your career? How has it changed it? How has it helped you? How has that changed in terms of even like the workload that you've had to do, the new concepts you've had to expose yourself to, and how have you coped with that?
Bele, like literally, yeah. I feel like I don't even know if this is that kind of podcast, but literally, I feel like
I don't even know what that kind is, but it is.
Yeah, but I wanted to say, like, literally, I feel like God did it for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now all my life, I know where I want to be. Do you understand? And I know I want to work like internationally. Do you understand? And not just internationally in terms of, okay, but in like, I want to make a difference. I want to be out there because I feel like I have passion for it. So just to cut the long story short, since we haven't really got time, is when I got here, like really, I saw that like really studying international economics law, because international economics law really has to do with trade, investment. You talk about you deal with like basically international development, that is trade relations between nations, how this affects the economy of countries. Do you understand? So mostly what I did was that I analyzed policies. Do you understand? International policies. I made policy recommendations, and even with the COVID-19, I dealt a lot of topical issues. Do you understand? So it was interesting for me, and I saw myself enjoying it. And we have an NGO, called Senior Aid Foundation. So in a way, like even with my NGO, when we founded it here, the whole idea was to one day, like obviously in the process, go international. Do you understand? It wasn't going to be like be a Nigerian NGO. It was going to be like a global charity organization. Do you understand? So this has helped me a lot. Do you get, in terms of like expanding my horizon on how things actually operate in reality. Do you understand? In countries, yeah, and all those stuff. So yes, this was the best decision of my life. I would say it today. I would say it tomorrow. Even with my job, okay, we've not gotten there.
Yeah. We've actually gotten there. That's exactly where we are right now. But I was going to say, I think it's actually very nice that you're very passionate about what you do. And it's something that Didi has also pointed out about you. It's like, Mobi has the passion. Anyway, you also hinted a little bit about the NGO that you have. And I think it's very nice, because I am of the belief that it doesn't have to be fancy to be impactful, right? And I think a lot of times people just try to wait for things to be perfect before they start. And so when I meet people who have started NGOs or who have started something new, I'm usually interested in kind of understanding their process and hoping that by sharing their story, they inspire other people to also start, regardless of whether they are scared or not ready or whatever. So can you tell us a little bit about the NGO that you have?
Okay, so basically, yeah, just background information. While I was in university, I did my thesis in university was conditions of persons internally displaced by conflict and natural disaster, and the need for a more protective legislation in Nigeria. So this is basically like analyzing like some of the impact on some of the conditions of, like, for example, conditions that affect internally displaced people. That's the causes and the effect and the aftermath. Do you understand? The NGO basically deals with three things. Yeah, it's centered around IDPs, but it deals with three things: entrepreneurship, shelter, and education. So in terms of entrepreneurship, that is with ideas, like we give them funds so that they will be able to maybe if it's bead making, sewing, you understand, all these vocational works, they'll be able to do it, and then from there create a chain of then in terms of education, provide educational scholarships all the way to high school, and for people who are really doing well, university and so on. Then shelter is to just renovate the IDP camps. So this is our three main missions, you get, and it's centered around IDPs, but then it still allows for what is it called, other things, because we also do reach out to like motherless babies and street awareness campaigns and things like that.
Okay, I think that's really, really interesting, especially because you target the three things that tend to be lacking in such communities, which is like education, entrepreneurship, and shelter. Okay, and so now another question I have for you with regards to this, like I feel this is a very sensitive area, it's a very sensitive policy area, especially because the government is involved. So how has it been, like, how has your interaction been, and how have you been able to ensure that, number one, it's like you're not always fighting against state forces, but then also that the money that you earmark for this project actually gets to the communities that you intend that it gets to? Didi, feel free to jump in.
Nice way to put me on the spot there. But Mobi is the CEO of this thing, so she should talk.
Okay.
So basically, as it is, we're self-funded. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So we've not gotten any money when we that is funds. Do you understand? When we first started it, yeah, what we did was we got our friends to donate things. Like when I said it, when immediately I put it out there, you cannot believe the lengths people went to actually help us. Like people donated clothes. Yeah, I had one of my friends, literally, he went all the way in Abuja, and he met friends in his office. Like they brought clothes, like nice clothes, shirts, trousers, packed it in Ghana must go, and sent it to Nnewi. Even one of my cousins too, he also did the same thing in Lagos and sent it to Nnewi. Even in Lagos to one our family friend in Lagos, literally they went around, got like different things, not just clothes, shoes, just different things. Time I wasn't asking for money, because these IDPs have these charities, because a lot of people misuse the opportunity.
The funds.
Yeah, so as much as possible, I didn't want to come out as funds. Like I want funds. I had a plan. You understand? And my plan was to help the lives of these IDPs because it's not their fault. Natural disaster, wars. Do you understand? People that actually have life. Do you get? It's like pure source of living. Just because of maybe something that's happening in Borno, they had to literally abandon everything that they have and migrate, within the country. And then they go to a new place and they don't have anything. Do you get? So now I felt it an obligation to literally do this. Do you get? And I would even okay, let me not divert here. So this is
why are you guys always afraid to divert?
Okay. Because I know that you have a structure. Do you understand? So I wouldn't want to talk too much.
No, it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so basically that's what happened. When before I say what I want to say, I want to directly answer your question. If by the time we start like actually seeking for funds, do you understand? It's not something that personally I want to start doing yet. Most of what I would prefer for now is like these donations. Do you get? Like if I want like anything, do you get? Let's just help them. Their homes, do you understand? Then people, if they want to help, do you understand? Then we have different projects. And like, I told you I have 3 missions: education, shelter, and entrepreneurship ideas. So only one phone only one culturally help which part of it. If it's education, then we'll tell you exactly. I have a whole plan for education.
That's
You
so
understand?
cool. I like the way you're talking about this thing. Like, do not even get me started on my education plan.
Do you exactly? Don't even get me started. Like it's genius. Do you understand? But it's just that support. I feel like I'm doing what I need to do now, which is this thing that I'm, because I know that because it is when I get to the a position, of influence, that place I want to be when I grow up, which is very soon, then I believe that I will be able to, speak to the right, be able to have that kind of influence, speak to the right place that would actually allow for
The funds to be released.
Yeah, if not for like my ideas, buy my ideas for helping these people, speak to the right people, and then it will be done. Look at anyway. Yes. So
look at where. Tell us. One last
no,
diversion for you.
One last diversion for me. I
We're going
wanted
to
to
say,
talk
look
about
at
like the funds that come into Nigeria. Do you understand? From the UN, from international NGOs, from even individuals. Do you understand? I know how much, but we can't even account for it. Do you understand? So you see all of these things, and it's a bit sad that that what really helps like these people, yeah. What we need to actually change these people's life is not billions of dollars, literally, because I've gone through it. I spoke to the person at the IDP camp. I told him about my education plan, my shelter plan, and this entrepreneurship plan, and we went and we saw, after analyzing it, we saw that what really needs to happen for this change to occur is not in billions of dollars. It's really just strategy and implementing specific plans that would actually work. Do you understand? And it's just for them to it's just for the right people to be in the position. You're just putting the right people in position of the funds, in position of implementing the ideas and doing all of that. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to say thank you for diverting 2 times, and I'm not teasing you. I'm not about to tease you at all, because I think that what you've shared is actually very useful information, and part of what you said about the inefficiency of the aid that comes into the country is what Dambisa Moyo tried to explain in her book. So I think these are very important conversations that we need to have, and I think it also resonates with what I said when I asked you the question that it really takes ordinary people doing extraordinary things and sometimes it might not even be extraordinary things. It could be the most simple thing, but it takes ordinary people trying their best for these things to work. Okay, so let me take you people out of your serious mood now, because now we're now speaking too much grammar and being too serious. So I went to ask Didi, because Didi has been so quiet in this podcast, as if you brought Mobi. Actually, you didn't bring her, it's me that brought her. But now you're trying to pretend like you're not here, and we are refusing to allow you.
I'm just like, Mobi is doing very well. She better as well.
We want the 2 perspectives. That's why we are here. So I have a question about job search. And I know that this is a very touchy topic, but it's something that I think a lot of people need to prepare more for. And the truth is, I don't think that no matter how many times someone tells you, I think it's a different thing to experience it. And I know that both of you, like you, Didi, you're just like kind of like out of that crazy phase. And maybe you're kind of in the middle of that crazy phase. And so I would really love to hear how you guys feel and how you have managed to navigate this phase. So I'd like to start with you, Didi. I know that a few months ago, you were at a point where like these people were hitting you up with letters that were not the sweetest to tell you that they regret to inform you. And then I know that you've gone from that to you being the person that's saying, thank you for inviting me for this interview, but I don't think that I can attend because I already have something. And so how has that felt, from the point where it seemed like you were applying to so many things and nothing was coming back successful, to this place that you are now? Like, I know it's difficult to recount, but what has the feeling? So, like, just tell us everything, but like the physical part, the mental part.
No, it's not even difficult to speak about because it literally just happened. It's not something that happened like last year or something like that. Yeah. Okay. So I got when I was doing my master's. Yeah, I got a job as a support worker. So I was doing that, just to not die from hunger. So, but then I worked for 2 months. That was February, March, and then I didn't like the work. This was not something I wanted to do. I wanted to do something more psychological, but I knew I had to gain experience one way or the other. And thankfully, it wasn't just support work for support work. It was support work that was also relevant experience for any other psychological, like for my doctorate application. That would also suffice. But I wanted something that was more that would make me research psychological therapy, something that was very involved with psychology. So I stopped working. I would go to work. I worked for like like 3 times a month sometimes, because applying for jobs is a full-time job. And then like when I started it, my application was not great, obviously, because this was my first time. And so my applications was not just you work on your CV and then you have a 150 word cover letter. No, for the applications, it was like a 1,000 word application for each and every application, because most psychology jobs, that they want to know everything about you. They want to know your experience, your values, especially for the trust. And when I mean trust, I mean, for example, NHS trust for Nottingham or NHS trust for Birmingham. Like it's all different, right? So it was extremely emotionally tasking, especially when the first time I did it, I got so many rejections. It was like it was funny because I was like, what? It was almost unbelievable because the first batch I applied for was last year ending, when I was almost, before I was done. And I applied to like 30 in one go with the same application, which was the mistake I made, because you have to tailor it to a job description, job specification. You have to be specific about some things. You can't just send out a a cover application and expect it to work. So I got all of it. I sent out. I got all of it rejection back, which was a big, huge blow. I was like, am I doing something wrong? And I realized, yes, I am doing something wrong. And as much as it was painful, but it was something I had to realize myself, and then talking to different people. So I reached out to groups on Facebook, groups that were like doing the things that I was doing, like the same career path, like people that wanted to be clinical psychologists or counseling psychologists. I reached out to people that were on LinkedIn, current trainees, which was extremely helpful. In fact, I actually reached out to psychologists here. A lot of them didn't answer, but some of them that answered were like, oh, they couldn't offer me anything. But just reaching out to them, getting advice from my supervisor in uni, and talking to like my friends, just for that moral support. And that was something I was very grateful for having, like, because I don't like to keep quiet when I'm struggling, because what's the point? I like to talk to everybody about my application. I spoke to my dad like a million times, because you have to be part of my crying. Like you have to be in the know, so that when I ask you for anything, you'll be able to offer advice or whatever you can offer, which was extremely, extremely helpful. Do you understand? So after the first batch of rejection, there was a second wave when I edited my applications, and then I became more intentional with my application process, and that was also extremely painful. So for some days, I didn't even apply. I would just wake up and go back to sleep, or just go and watch my movies, because I didn't have it in me to do anything. And I just felt really low. And then after like 2 months, then this last month, the applications that I made, Oh, I also had like I have a fake, well, not a fake, an Instagram page where it's just me and me alone. And that's where I write everything down. I wrote down every rejection I got, I wrote it down and how I felt about it. I also have a journal where I keep it it's just a way of reflecting on those experience, on the experience I had, which is also extremely important for my doctorate. So that is like, two birds, one stone and all of that. And then when I started getting interviews, it's funny because the interviews all came at once, literally all at once. And I got like 7 interviews and I went for all of them. I got 4 offers from them. And then after I got my offers, I kept getting interviews, but then I wasn't like, okay, I can't come for the interviews. Thank you for all of that and all of that. So it was very nice to be validated for the work that I had done, for the emotional work anyways. And yeah, that's the experience that I had. And I took the best offer, obviously. So yeah, that's it. And honestly, I think something that helped me this process was just my friends saying it's a numbers game all the time, especially you, Ebele. You and Oluchi and IJ, you guys were like really, really helpful. And you guys were always saying it's a numbers game, which it is. Like the more you apply, the more likelihood it is that you're going to get something. And I'm not even joking. I think I applied to not less than 100 and something applications. It's just wild. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, first of all, thank you for giving us such a very descriptive answer. And I'm going to try to be a serious person and not like jones about anything. But
no, you
my
can
question... No, I'm not jonesing because I know that we have overshot our time. But my question for you, like, I know that it's one thing to say this and for it to seem like, some days I wasn't feeling good and then I took some time off. But having gone through that myself, I know that there is also this guilt that comes with not applying. It's like you're in a battle with yourself. Like, you know in your heart that you cannot apply anymore. But then also it's like you feel guilty that you haven't applied. And so how did you shut down the voices in your head? That's the first part. And the second part that I want, like, honestly, I have like 5 parts. I'm like a Nigerian.
Okay, can I answer it with every part
yes,
that you asked
yes,
so that I don't
can.
forget it? I think that part was actually one of the most difficult because for me, I'm very organizational in my head. I have a reminder for every single thing. If I'm going to get my cat food at 7, I have to have a reminder. For this thing, I had a reminder, even though I already had a Google reminder. I have to have a reminder for everything. So the day before, I would know that tomorrow I'm not going to do anything. That's just how my mind is. And I would put on my reminder. And then when I wake up and I'm like, okay, so today I'm going to do something, or today I'm not going to do something, the guilt is like, there's an application there's an application out there that just opened up. You have not searched for it. You should be doing this, and you're just watching a movie. I feel guilty about it, but at the same time, I would say laziness with I'm not much of a procrastinator, so just a little of that, and the fact that I'm just not emotionally available to do anything, because applying is emotional work, especially since I've been getting out of rejection. So my mind is like, it's always good to be positive, but at the same time, it's like, what difference would it make? Do you understand? It's like, okay, you've been doing this, you haven't gotten anything. Just take a day and, prepare yourself. And for me, every application I make, I'm very gingered about it. Like, I want it to be very good. And I'm very excited about it because it's like this opportunity that just opened up and it's for me. And then when I apply and I don't get it, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do any application for like 3 days. I feel guilty, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm sorry, there's really nothing I can do emotionally. If I can't put myself in the application, it's just, it wouldn't even work to me because a part of me is not there. So I might as well just take the rest and sleep. But mostly it's not sleep. It's really just to watch The Office or something really good, Superstore or something.
I pray they create new shows so that you have more options, because you've been on this for 5 years.
By the way, just watch the show Evil. It's really good.
I tried. Okay, now I have 2 last questions for you before I go over to Mobi. Okay, so my question for you, you said that you found the Facebook group, which is very, very helpful. How did you know that Facebook group even exists? That's one question. And the second question is a very simple question. You talked about trust, and I'm guessing it's something that anybody who is in your line of work, like they will understand, right? But to a lay person who doesn't really understand how these trusts work, can you tell us what it is?
Okay, NHS trust is just basically literally that. Like if you're in the UK, for example, like I said, each city or whatever they call it, I don't know what each city, like I use the example, Nottingham or Birmingham or wherever area you are in the UK, you have the hospital, the NHS, this thing is called an NHS trust. That's just what it is. If you're in the UK and you understand the NHS, that you understand it. Do you understand? Mobi, do you get what I'm saying? Does it make sense to you? Do you even go to hospital?
I understand what you're saying, did you?
Exactly. So if you're in the UK, you understand it.
Say na agwa kitab na makamabata officer ma mi hebu.
I can't give him like there's no other way to explain it. I've told you what I've told you.
That's so bad. How did you find the Facebook groups?
I think I found so many things. I'm telling you.
What was your strategy? Like, how did you find them?
It's just putting in the work and doing the research. Like, because for this particular one, no one told me about it. It was just one of those things. And Facebook is not even somewhere I go. But now I open Facebook the same way I open, I don't know, maybe not TikTok, but yeah, TikTok. Because that, when I can't remember, honestly, I don't remember how I found that page, but it was just something I found. I was looking for something and I stumbled onto it. And then I joined it and I asked so many questions. It got a lot of, help on how to write applications. I got random strangers to actually help me with my application, send me theirs to see what I could do, how to reflect. I learned so much. I talked to so many people. And then the same thing for, it was even recently that I found out, because the one I was on was for clinical and was for assistant psychologists who are aspiring to be clinical psychologists. It was even recently that I found out there was one for trainee, like people that are aspiring to be counseling psychologists, and then there's another one for people that just they're applying for high intensity cognitive behavioral therapist. If I had known about the counseling one, I might not have even joined the clinical one, and I wouldn't have gotten the help that I had. But it was just at the moment that it happened, I was doing all the work. I was putting, honestly, I'm not even going to lie, I did so much, and I would give myself that by saying I did everything that I could. I really did. If I didn't do it, I don't know. I did. Do you remember that interview that I had, that after the interview, I cried for like 4 hours straight?
And I was trying to convince you that you're still a bad.
And I am now.
But I think it's all part of the process. And, like now that we talk about it being part of the process. Okay, Mobi. So my question to you is like, and I really apologize for. Okay, so my question to you is kind of similar to what I asked Didi. I know that you're at that stage where, like, it's not very beautiful. And so I want you to only talk about things that you're comfortable with to begin with. But can you tell us, like, what it feels like preparing for each interview? Like, if you were to talk to, so if somebody were to give you an advice about this phase that you're in right now, what would have helped you for that person to tell you that would prepare you for it? And how have you kind of gone through this whole, like you meet with these people, you tell them about your passion, your aspirations, why you want to join their team. And then like
gotten to the interview stage.
I have no.
What is in the application stage?
Like, oh, okay.
I'm not going for interview.
What is wrong? I saw Didi typing like.
Yeah. Did you see my face? I was like,
no, Mobi is in the first stage I was in, like the suffering stage, where you feel like nobody, like you're not valued, nobody cares about you, even with your distinction. Like
at this point, even Cholo, when you actually have any conversation with me, hold the conversation. All I just want now is for someone to say, "Mama, I have a job for you. This is it. This is the day you start." Blah. Finish. Show me my salary and it. Any other thing, because when happen to my kind of mother turn for my application. There was even a time that literally in June, throughout June, like I was literally on my table. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't move. It was like from morning to night, I was on my table applying.
In June or July?
June, June. 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 Then in July, I was also in the same thing. So literally, for the past 2 months or 2.5 months or just 2 months, literally, like Amorum. All the MA was CV inside the pit.
And do you know what's funny? Do you know what's funny? Mo, can I say this? Do you know what's funny? Mobi did not believe that this would happen to her.
Because why
when I think in Mobi's mind, that's not how the world works. Like if you are qualified, blah blah blah, you get the job.
Yeah.
No, like so. I think Mobi's first 5 rejections came as an unfortunate shock to her. It was almost like, what are you doing?
Mobi, I'm so sorry, but can I laugh?
Laugh or
yes,
because it's laughable.
I laughed too because like when I was doing my own application, Mo was always saying some things that someone who doesn't understand would never understand. She felt that there was something I was doing wrong. You understand? She felt that it wasn't like Mobi was extremely supportive, but like some things that she would say sounded like, oh, well, if you hear me, do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
And I truly believed it.
Which was funny to me because I was doing everything. So every time she offered me a different way of doing it, I'm like, I've already done it. And it's like, oh, okay, you've done that. So now that she started applying, and she's realizing that you can do everything and yet it's coming as a shock to her beautiful brain. So she's like, wait,
please, this is our distinction basis.
My dear, this how blue their distinction. My own is take the decision, give me a job. That's all I want. I don't want.
If she can apply to her school, they rejected her.
One lie. Ebele, you know what? I was shocked.
And you know the thing? Even when she applied, she was like, she's definitely going to get it.
One lie.
But do you know that? Okay, so I had this counselor in my school who used to say that the jobs that they reject us from, I don't know how she put them, but she was like basically that when we finally find the job that's ours, it will feel like home because it's like you really vibe with the people and you vibe with what you're doing. So I just feel like all of these things are character development because if Mama didn't go through all of this right now, after
she won't believe it.
Exactly, she will still not believe it.
Because I remember Auntie Ma, that day that I cried for that interview, and I called my Auntie Ma, that was Nem's best friend. I called Auntie Ma. And Auntie Ma, she was heartbroken for me, but then she was like, "That is not your job. Like, it's not for you." So she was extremely supportive. So I'm sorry, it's funny.
But then how do you feel about it? Because I know we are laughing about this now because me and Didi like.
It's very soul crushing.
But I know that experiencing it is something else because there's something about working very, very hard and being very passionate and knowing that you will actually be impactful in it, in a role or in whatever. Like, you just need an opportunity or a chance to show that, or if you give me this thing, I will kill it. So, I mean, aside, calling Didi and, friends just sharing words of encouragement with you, when you're alone, how do you deal with knowing that at the end of the day, it's not you? Like, it's not about you not doing your best or not being good enough or not being smart enough or not working hard enough.
Please, just that question rephrase it now. So
let me explain. How do you not blame yourself?
Exactly. When these rejections come and you feel bad about it, how do you not blame yourself for it?
In all honesty, because I feel like I've it's in everything. Do you understand? So only this mentality, because when I feel like I've given it my all, whatever result I get from it, I believe that is the result that I'm meant to get. So I don't blame myself. The only way I can blame myself, is if I feel like I did not do. I feel like so that result, if I get an unfavorable result, I would then say that, okay, do you get? Yeah. So, and then, because I'm a Christian and my faith, like, I believe that what is meant to be is meant to be. Give it your all. If you don't get it, then that is how it's meant to be. If you get it, then that is how it's meant to be. So did I answer your question?
You did answer my question and you answered it really good. Thank you. So now, you guys, I know that we have only 2 minutes, but I just wanted to say that the last thing I wanted to ask you was about accommodation, but also your last, like the last things you guys spoke about made me also think about asking you about how both of you have managed to navigate your relationship, especially since like one person is super religious and one person is onyokai. Like, so how do you guys navigate that? But now we have only 2 minutes. Do you mind giving me 10 more minutes of your time? And I promise you, I'm not going to shalaye when I.
It's not like we're going to say no.
I have a suggestion. Every time Ebele apologizes, she has to give us £50.
You did not even start with $10.
No, because I agree. Because
I agree for £10, but to start with £50.
Okay, no, I'm a poor girl. $10. £10. No problem.
Oyana. It will shock you people.
Mostly because Mobi is obsessed with me. As in, she loves me too much. There's no way our relationship would spoil. And I think we're very good with communication. And also, Mobi does not engage me. Like when I say something silly about religion, she just keeps quiet. Mobi does not judge. Mobi is extremely non-judgmental. So she literally doesn't say anything. She has her own beliefs and she's strong with it. And whatever I say will not shake her. So she just ignores me. And honestly, I don't really say disrespectful things to Mobi, like about her religion, because she's very serious about it. To other people, yes, but not to Mobi. Because Mobi is, I don't know, she's a different kind of religious person. She's not like a lot of religious people that I know. No.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think I actually have anything to add to what Didi said. What she said is like basically all of it. Do you understand? I have my beliefs. You know, the thing about any relationship, no matter what, if it's do you get, is just respect. If you have respect for someone, do you understand? Then everything just works out. And like you said, like Didi would not like, she knows how I feel about this, do you get? So she knows what to not say or say. Not that Didi has filter, because when I say filter, yes, but then she's still yeah.
Wait, before you say something, please, like, beautiful listeners, when Mobi says that religious respect about people respect, once there's respect in your friendship, this is not when it comes to like some political ideologies. So there's some political ideologies that you have. It's not my business the kind of respect that you have. We will not be friends. We will not communicate properly. Thanks and God bless.
Thank you very much.
Thanks and God bless. Did you hear that?
Thanks and God bless. Let's not get
that was a low-hanging fruit, Mobi.
Thanks and God bless.
Very low-hanging.
No,
for real. Ask Ebele. Sometimes, Ebele, don't I say some? Say, Amanda, you have blessed. I say it different. Come on.
It does.
One is the let my father not be listening to this VN.
Any did me go. That's all that's all I'm wanted. If I know any did me go. Money name get £6 million. Wallahi.
They were very selfish. If you don't know a million, more than 1,000.
Wait.
No,
you know what I said? Remember, I was thinking I was asking for too small.
Wait, Ebele, Mobi, before this, Ebele, please ask the last question so that
it's true because so the last question I have for you guys, it's a big one. It's about accommodation. I did this accommodation episode, but I feel like that episode, even if it has a senior brother and sister, it's not enough to really talk about the struggles of accommodation. So I know that it's a little bit different to get accommodation in the UK. And I would like for you guys to speak to us about your experience, especially because I know that Mobi is living at a place now where she has a curfew. So how does that feel? How did you find where you were living? What would you tell people to look out for? And what has been your most weary experience looking for accommodation?
Me?
Yeah. Anyway.
First question, what is it called? Let me start from the back. What was weary experience? The experience of looking for accommodation is the most weary experience. Like you can just even before you start, the anxiety go make you mad. Like, I swear. And then you don't see that as in, you get, like, it's actually...
What's
and in the
crazy? Is it
UK,
like the price, the people, the
what?
houses?
Okay, the price and the houses. The people, you have to get to the price and there before you get to the people now, is it not? So that's it. So when it comes to the price, yeah, especially living in the UK, is quite living in London is a bit expensive. So you are looking for something nice within your budget. So trying to find that it's almost it's crazy, literally, because it doesn't exist. If apartment in Maloma, if nke jolonjo enough price, I cannot sleep in this kind of place. God knows. So I'll not come here and paying this just to sleep in this kind of place. Yeah. And also having at the back of your mind that, like, just not very far from you outside London is a place that is very, very amazing. Yeah, and it's even less than that. Do you understand? So before anyway, so yeah, so what is it to look out for? World, everybody hear me when I say this. Do not live with a landlord. Like, if I'm talking it, I'm serious. Don't do it. Basically, I did not know, but this is, and I got into it, and I'm, because literally I'm asking God for guidance at this point, to be able to live with this human being. But just I think that's it. Basically, look at one, find a place where you can have your independence, where you can have, do you get, not everybody in coffee, like, what is that? You understand? So yeah, then the first question you asked was, how is he looking for apartment? Well, anyway, London get as it be. Do you know, I've never in my life, is this UK that literally opened my eyes. I've never lived in a situation where you have to live with somebody that is in that kind of way. Do you get?
Didi Mobi is really experiencing many things. I've never in my life.
Her other flat, was it not 6 people, 2 bathrooms and 1 kitchen? There was no living room safe.
How were
that's
you guys
London
cleaning? What was
that like? But it also depends. Some people have a lot of money to like stay in like places where you're not even sharing apartments. But like in London, that's about £1,800. You're going to pay a lot of money, because even in some shared apartments, like 2 people, you're paying £1,300, £1,500. So you have to have a lot of money if you don't want to share. And then if you don't have a lot of money, then you have to share. And then you have to deal with people not understanding the basics of hygiene. Let's not even get into that.
No, but I really want us to actually get into that, because you talked about like the fact that Mobi had 6 roommates and 2 bathrooms. How were you guys dealing with the cleaning? Because I know that some houses don't have external people that come to clean. So it's like you or the people living within the houses, you have to kind of make arrangements. So what was
Mobi
that
was
like?
the one that was doing the cleaning.
When Mobi that's what I wanted to say.
There was no how was you guys. There was no timetable. Mobi was doing the cleaning.
Only person that cleaned. Like,
how did you feel about that?
I look after myself. I'm happy and nobody will do it. So basically you have to do it yourself, because if you don't do it, nobody is going to do it. And the standard that you get. So, and I was living with guys, so that it did extra, guys, when they pee, not even the kitchen, everything, and that's one. Then eventually a one as well, yeah, which is very, very important. When you're living in the UK, I noticed something about living in the UK, especially foreigners and the people who are actually residents. Do you understand? Or locals. Now, for internationals, yeah, when they come to the UK, they come because they're coming for a better life. You understand? So they have a hustler's mentality. So in everything that they do, if they're working, if they're making £3,000 a month, if internationals and they're here making £3,000 a month, they want to save £2,000 and squeeze in everything in £1,000. Do you understand? Just because of hustlers mentality. So that's why you find us internationals living in the shackles. Do you understand? That is in this country. When you now go to the beautiful places, like you now see neighbor, you now see a lot of white people. It's not because they make more necessarily. It's because they live as it comes. Like another thing is that and the reason why they don't also have that hustlers mentality is because this country has also helped them a lot. Like especially I don't know how it is in America.
Safety net.
Yeah. Like no UK blood, no UK citizen would ever suffer homelessness. Literally, if you're not making money, the country will start paying you rent. Where will you see that in Africa? Which country will do that for you? Do you understand? So so these are the kind of things, these are the things that you see.
Because as a child, I never used to go. I mean, no, don't get this the wrong way, because my mom listens to this thing. I don't want to say I come from trenches, because I didn't. But now that I am an adult person, I'm trying to enjoy the things I didn't enjoy as a child, like travel for vacation and not feel guilty, or live in a fine house and not feel guilty. But then there's also that part of me that's like, remember the people in Ubulu-Uku? So I think it kind of resonates with this hustlers mentality that Mobi is talking about. But how would you guys say that? Because I know that your plan is to live at least for the next few years in the UK. You plan to work a little bit, kind of understand the environment that you have schooled in, especially for the international experience you hope to get. So how do you think that you will find this balance between having a hustler mindset where you have to save, but also being or choosing the comfortable things of life? It might not be today, or next month, but like in a year from now, do you think that you would move to the chiller side of town?
Personally, like I think Mobi was just talking in a generalized manner, because growing up, as in we never was handling money until UNICEF. Nem was not giving us money to handle directly. Do you understand? So we actually don't have that inbuilt hustler thing that a lot of people have. So actually, my default is enjoyment. It's recently that that I have to, learn to, prioritize some things over others, so that I will be able to enjoy bigger in the future. Like do the work now and then save that money. Honestly, I enjoy now, but at the same time, I also know how to use my money well, and so does Mobi. Do you understand? So, and honestly, different people with their different backgrounds. I think this is because of our background. Like a lot of people have financial difficulties, so I can't even pretend to understand that. So that's also something that informs the decisions that they make. Obviously, the hustler mentality. And remember that some people here that are hustling, and that they're nobody's making £3,000 just by the way as an international student that just came. But like for the people that are making money, remember that these people, most of these people that are coming here are married already with their children. And secondly, so they can't actually do that enjoyment that you're talking about. And secondly, some of these people are sending money back to their people. You're not sending money to anybody. So that enjoyment in the Okumake, they cannot do it.
Straight up.
They're here because someone has sponsored their school fees that they have to pay back to them. I remember that some of these people here are also paying their own school fees. Equal uncle school fees. Do you understand?
Excuse me,
now
just say Mobi.
Mobi.
Please,
let's focus here.
Serious.
I'm not asking you. You don't even have that kind of financial worry. Or when they had as in their exam, they finish writing it and they have to finish paying before they even see their result. So that's something that also informs their behavior when it comes to money. Do you understand? So it's not just one thing. There's so many factors when it comes to that hustler mentality. And also, some people are richer than you. They don't have they're enjoying life in the UK. My guy.
I know.
They're balling. As in, my guy, they're balling.
Okay, Mobi, thank you so much for sharing your you gave a very Nigerian auntie-like advice, especially at the times you were switching to Igbo, about accommodation and curfews. I would love for us to learn a little bit more about some of the things that your landlord has said that you can and cannot do, and the steps you intend to take. But before we do that, I would like to hear from Didi, because I know that you guys live, Mobi says she lives in London, and I know that you don't live in London. So is it the same situation where you are, or have you had a different experience?
Yes, I've had a different experience. I live in Scotland, I live in Aberdeen, and accommodation here is much, much cheaper than London. So I live alone, and I live alone in my, like, with my bedroom and my living room and my kitchen and my bathroom, and I'm paying less rent than Mobi. Do you understand? So, but where I'm moving now is not the same. It's more expensive. And yeah, so I don't have the problem that Mobi has, where she's, sharing a bathroom. Even though I know that some people that like some Nigerian students that come here, or even Ghanaian students that I know that are here, they're also sharing flats. Obviously, you have to do them according to your pockets. But they're sharing, but I don't even think it's like 6 people in a room, in a flat. It's like 2-3 people, that max, genuinely. But these people, remember, they're also paying their school fees themselves. So that's also obviously a factor. There are different factors that make people do different things. So yeah, I can't even relate to what Mobi's saying. And it's unfortunate. Mobi's landlord, okay, for example, Mobi's landlord, after Mobi moved in, and she asked him, because he's a living landlord, and she asked him if there are any rules, and then he said no. And then the next day he came and told her, there are rules. Your friends are not allowed to sleep over, are not allowed to stay up past 11. Your sister, when she comes, she's not allowed to stay. Like, and obviously I feel that the reason is he's a black man, he's a Nigerian, he's an African, and they are
Mobi,
very,
you
very
didn't tell me this part.
Yes, now. And once he said these things, I was like, as Mobi, if you expect, with their extremely warped idea of how girls should behave, because I'm sure he's not going to tell a boy this thing, or they'll give a boy coffee for 12. Where's his babe going to sleep?
But then what is your plan? Because I don't know, do you guys sign yearly leases or quarterly leases? How will you resolve this now?
Ask this man for contract until today. So I'm just ignoring him. Do you understand? In all of these things, I'm just going with the flow and trying to see like how everything ends up. But yes, I didn't sign a contract, unfortunately, and I wanted to. He's been a big boy.
I can imagine. But it must be very frustrating for you as well, because
very.
I can imagine if you want to have a movie night with your friends, or imagine if you're always hanging out with your friends and you can stay over at their house, but then when they come to your house, you're giving them an excuse.
But that's the thing, yeah. If any non come basically all these things that he's saying is stories that touch, because there is no way that my friend will come here and I will say, hurry up, you need to leave, when I know the craze.
Are you scared?
If I'm not scared. Yesterday, Sam, what is it called? My friend, I was like, enter this. He said, no. He doesn't want. I said, enter. Am I not the one that is invited? He said, no. So he was the one that decided to go. If not, I don't care. Like, what do you want? Who go for?
I like the way that you're a religious person, but you still used to do violent things.
It's just there's something called bullying. I feel like this is bullying in a certain, do you understand? Mm-hmm. And when you want to intimidate someone that you believe that, because I'm a cool and calm person, do you understand? Or if you want to live with me, like so living with me, do you get? But if you now want to, because you feel like I'm that kind of person to, cross,
intimidate you,
then I go show you that some people they crazy, so no, they look face. Some people are mad.
Thank you for telling me that. I will be needing that for my in case. So when they are called. Okay, you guys, we've come to the end of this episode. Though. I've exhausted all of my questions. Normally, at the end of each episode, I ask people if they have any random advice. And the only thing I didn't ask you guys was about love, even though Mobi told us that she has been traumatized, and I don't think you're looking or searching for anything but a job. in case you're looking for somebody who is very passionate and is interested in international politics and development and trade, Mobi is your girl. But do people have any last words to share, whether it's about finding love, being in love, finding situationships?
Let Mobi find job first, then we'll talk about finding love.
I mean, me, I'm open to love, but at this time, my strongest love is God. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So
I'm serious now. It's quite okay now. Mobile now. Can you hear that?
If you felt as if you held in a laughter.
No, I was actually serious.
No, but for real though, like at this moment, my strongest like relationship is God. You understand? I'm open to like finding love in, certain respects. I don't believe that I'm someone that has ever been in love. I've been attracted to a couple of people in my lifetime, and when I say a couple of people, I've these 5 fingers. But that definition of love, that kind of love that people have experienced, by the grace of God, I'm hoping to experience it though. But I've not experienced it. All the same, guys have been amazing to me. Do you understand? Now me, they say,
senior man.
Because, but
you need to teach us.
I will teach you people. For me, in all honesty, because I'm not much, do you understand? But I feel like it's just like being confident in yourself and really knowing like who you are in that respect. Do you understand? See, when you're not too, it's not like too confident, like it's just like knowing who you are. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. People respect that. I feel like that's what like maybe people find attractive. The people that do find attractive about me. Do you understand? Yeah. But and I'm honest. So
and you're a bad babe.
And I'm a bad don't play with me, bro. Don't play.
Oh yeah, Didi, thank you for pointing out other people's qualities. I'm going to point out your own now.
Because let me
point out. Mobi was telling us about, the kind of person she is and why she feels that makes an attractive personality in general. And she also told us what her focus on love is now. So do you have any last words to share? It doesn't also have to be about love. I'm sorry I threw you guys under the love tree. What are your last words?
I don't have much. I don't have anything to say about love, but I would say, like, for people that are listening and that are interested in, and that are like scared about how maybe moving to the UK and the job, this thing, and the schooling when they're older. Honestly, your fear is extremely valid, but like a lot of people have done it and they have successfully done it, and I think it's important to focus on the fact that people have successfully done it and you also can successfully do it, especially if you have a support, like people supporting you. And if you don't, it's something you can easily build. Well, not easily, well, like you can build with effort. So definitely go for it.
Okay, you guys, thank you. That was really, really nice. That went in like 2 different directions, but that makes it even better.
I have one last word though, because I know that Ebele has mentioned it, but in case you have job for me, I'm looking for a job.
For real, guys. No,
for
on
real.
A serious note. Forget that we are laughing.
Like Mobi is like really interested in like policy making and the economic development of the world and all of that. She's brilliant. She's really, really good.
She's very passionate.
Take her.
I just want to say thank you so much, both of you, for sharing these insights and for being so open, for diving deep, for telling me about your landlord, your job experiences, for sharing your passion with me and your NGO. And thank you for hanging out with us this evening for you and afternoon for me. And as always, for the people who are listening, if you enjoyed this episode, please follow us on Instagram and Twitter, subscribe to our podcast, listen to the newsletter. We try to provide this information in as many formats as possible to meet people where they are. See you